Hey, good morning.
Is this my guy, State's Attorney Ivan Bates?
Hey, it is. Good morning, my brother. Quick, how you doing today?
Hey, man, we're blessed and
Good
highly favored. Of
morning.
course, me and Shay Parker
Good
here.
morning.
And I'm so glad you called in, sir, because, of course, we've all seen the viral video from that police officer, Robert A. Parks. And I'm hearing that he has officially been indicted. Can you speak on that, please?
Look, like everybody else, we saw the viral video. But one of the things I don't think people really understand is that the police may have done their investigation, and we did our total own separate investigation.
Got you.
Our investigation didn't have anything to do with the police. As a matter of fact, our investigation was actually more thorough than the police department because our investigation found a video that the police never gave us or
Oh,
didn't. We
wow.
didn't know anything about.
Wow.
And that video told a different side of the story that was to us. Once again, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but this video was more egregious, and it kind of sealed in terms of what we thought the charges need to be.
And just so we're all clear, what exactly is Officer Robert A. Parks charged with?
Well, the main charge is second-degree attempt murder.
Wow.
He's also charged with first-degree assault, second-degree assault, misconduct in office as a police officer.
Gotcha.
But once again, the main charge is second-degree attempt murder.
Hey, State's Attorney Ivan Bates, I really appreciate you. Now, of course, what's next? He's been charged.
Yeah, indicted. And
Indicted.
that's what we did.
Gotcha.
And so, the police oftentimes, they're the ones who do the initial charging. My office will do the indictment. And his case will be now headed to eventually go to trial. And probably in the next, say, 9 days or so, we'll have an arraignment, not necessarily an arraignment, but have a date in which he will go ahead and know when we'll set the trial date and things like that.
And just so I'm clear, a lot of times we get excited when an indictment happens, but of course then he has to be found guilty of all charges, and I say he faces a maximum of 65 years in prison. How confident are we that he's actually going to go from just being indicted to actually being charged and do jail time?
Now, in terms of the jail time, I don't necessarily know. That's not up to me. That's the hands of the court and things like that. But, our office feels strongly in the sense that we bought this case. And any time that we bring a case, we're going to have to stand behind it. And the video is what the video is, what it shows. But once again, like I like to tell everybody, out of abundance of caution, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, he'll have to go before the jury or a judge, and he'll have to explain certain things. We feel very strongly about our case, or else we would not have brought one.
Gotcha.
But at the end of the day, the issue is this. We understand what the police procedures are. That's why even I read them. Hey, the police under the law can do A, B, C, and D. And one of the things that I did read about is that, look, if an individual does have a warrant, this gentleman had a misdemeanor warrant, and they flee, the police, under their own general orders, they're supposed to let that individual go. Once you let that, now it's different if they're a fleeing felon, they committed a murder, something like that.
Wow.
This gentleman had a misdemeanor warrant, and because of that, we looked at this case in different. With this misdemeanor warrant, general orders, they're suggested they're supposed to allow them to leave. Now you later charge them with the, charge of fleeing and elude and all that other stuff. Eventually, who they are. They're going to come back to the neighborhood. This is a misdemeanor warrant for failure to appear in court for a misdemeanor offense.
Now, we're talking to State's Attorney, of course, Ivan Bates.
Yes, I wanted to ask, now that this new video that, your office has in its possession and used for this indictment, what is the Baltimore Police Department saying? How are they answering for themselves as to, how this officer has been allowed to, be able to treat Baltimore residents and citizens like this? Because we are also hearing from some of our listeners that this is not the first incident of, this officer being violent.
For us, we didn't necessarily deal with the Baltimore City Police Department. This is us, the state's attorney's office on our own. That's something that the police department, and the mayor, they have to answer those questions. That's not something we would answer. We're different in the sense that and one of the things that people I don't think really realize, we're totally independent. If someone's charged in the court of law and indicted, that's not the police department. That's the Baltimore City Attorney's Office in Baltimore City.
Gotcha.
And so you have two separate agencies or organizations because this way you have a checks and balances. Once again, my office was the one we did the investigation, and based on the investigation, but we'll also say this. There were 3 separate incidents within this whole process. One is the viral video that everybody saw on the grassy knoll. One was the video that my team found and took that had the gentleman running down Wiley Avenue, and we saw the police officer's vehicle driving. And then the last one is in the alley where the vehicle went through a chain link fence, and the gentleman had to jump to get out the way of the vehicle. And so those three incidents together made for us those three separate incidents made one large incident, and that's why we came and had the charges that we've had.
Gotcha.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're very, very well. Look, it's important that the community, this was important, we would treat the community the same way we're going to treat the police. I think it's important that everybody understands the law treats we want the law to treat everybody the same. That's when people believe in the criminal justice system. Just because you're a police officer doesn't mean that you're going to get away with A, B, C, and D. But also, look, we want to make sure that we hold people accountable because we got to have a safe community for all of us.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, State's Attorney Ivan Bates, thanks so much for checking in. And where can people follow you on social just to keep up to date when your TikTok and your Instagram, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm at Ivan, Ivanj, Bates, Bates. Just follow him on Instagram, TikTok. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day, bro.
All right, you too, my brother. You take care.
Yes, sir.